Alright, today I'm going to be talking about the three kinds of scents that I use on my artificial lures, whether I'm fishing saltwater or freshwater. So the first one, I think everybody knows, Berkley Gulps. These are great lures if you're not familiar with them. This is a small little shrimp. It almost feels like plastic. It has a stink to them that especially redfish love. So if I'm targeting redfish, I will definitely be throwing a gulp at them, a gulp shrimp, copper penny, use the like the white, and whatever color you have confidence in, that is the one to throw. It's a great little bait. I really do like it. The one thing I don't like about the gulp is that if you put it on a jig head, and it fits on there. This is the smaller size shrimp. Usually the regular size shrimp a little bigger. If you leave these on your hook for a period of time, let's say you finish fishing, the next day you go out, this will shrink up to nothing and turn very hard. You basically got to take a knife and cut it off. So very important is after you use a gulp is to put them back into a container. I got one of their gulp containers and I throw all my pieces in there. Even if you use these and they get chewed up, even if you got a piece of them left, you can take that piece, and I can take a piece of it and tip a regular jig with a piece of gulp. You'll still get that scent on with your regular lures. Especially works good if you got a hair jig. I can take one of these. If you ever been out there and have pufferfish or any experiences with pufferfish, you know they love gulp, and sometimes to the point where you can't throw a gulp shrimp out or any kind of gulp lure out without it being chewed up, and it looks like Swiss cheese after a few casts. Good thing to do is save the pieces that you have, use a hair jig, slide that little piece up on that hair jig so it's protected by the hair, and you can catch a lot more fish that way. It's harder for the puffer fish to get to. So another way I like to use gulp is anytime I'm metal jigging, I put a piece of gulp. I'll run this up on the assist hook, and what that does when I drop and I'm metal jigging offshore, that scent that it leaves, and it will leave a scent trail as you're moving that jig up. Even if I'm high-speed jigging, I've had grouper and snapper chase it halfway to the surface, and I'm sure it's because of that scent. Once they catch that scent, they're after it. So another use for Berkley Gulp besides using on the jig. But the downside is, one of the other downsides are, if you're using a traditional lure, you know, gulp isn't going to help much. You can take like a walk. This is a haul 'em in topwater bait. If I put a piece of gulp on that back, it's going to interfere with the way the lure works. So there's other options for that. So if you're using a hard bait, what I like to use, and Procure is a, it's like, it goes on like maple syrup, and it smells. I like to use inshore. It's inshore saltwater. It's their special, and I use it freshwater and I use it saltwater. It goes on the lure, and it is like maple syrup. It just sticks to the lure. So a hard body lure, this is going to stay scented for quite a while. And also you can use it on your soft plastic lures. Same thing. I like to put it underneath the belly, and it lasts. I can cast it a dozen times. It still has that smell onto it. So Procure is one of my go-to baits. The fact that I can use any plastic lure or any hard bait and have scent added to it. Now if you take a regular jig or like a flare hawk, if you're fishing for snook at night, and you add this to the hair, it sticks to the hair real well. And so now when you're casting a snook with a flare hawk or a small jig for trout like with this, it's going to pick up that scent. It's going to hold on really well, and it's a lot more effective, you know, because you never know. Sometimes when fishing's tough, I want all the advantages I have. And the things that I look for in a lure, I want sight, and then sound, and smell, you know, or scent. So I definitely want something that's going to put out some kind of a smell, some kind of a, what do you call it, scent trail. They will pick up, and believe it or not, they will follow. And when fishing's tough, sometimes it doesn't matter. You throw anything out, you reel it in, you're going to catch a fish. When fishing's tough, it really does help. Now another one I want to talk to about is Fishbites. Fishbites, if you look at this, the nice part about that versus a gulp is that you can leave this out. It's like a cloth material with some kind of like a, I don't know, spongy rubber thing on top. It's not slimy, it isn't wet till you put it in water. Then it starts to dissolve slowly. The good part about this bait is that you can leave it on your hook. It's not going to sit there and shrink up to nothing. But you can use this just with a plain hook. Throw it out there. People use it all the time for pompano, snapper, and things like that. What I like about this bait is that I can sit there and put it on a jig and mount it onto a jig head. It's got a little trailer, and as I'm working that jig, it's going to put out a scent trail. Even like it better on just a flare hawk or just a regular jig. I can sit there and put that strip on there. That strip kind of gets into the body of the lure, puts out a good scent trail, and especially if there's a lot of puffer fish. You know, puffer fish will destroy anything with any scent. It'll destroy a regular soft plastic lure, whether you got scent on it or not. Add scent to it, it's crazy. I mean, you'll throw your lure out, you bring it back, and there's hardly anything left to it. This thing here, they'll chew on this for a while. So you're adding a lot of scent to your lure, and they're not picking you to death like they would using a gulp. So you definitely have a fish bite advantage on that end. So I use it on my jigs. You can also use it on your metal jigs. I haven't tried it yet on the metal jig, but I want to try it. I'm sure if it's got a good scent trail, it's going to pick up and it'll probably work well. But definitely on jigs, I will use this particular scent bait. Now, which one's best? Well, you heard me describe different ways that I use these. I use all three, and it all depends on the situation. You know, at one time, I will use the gulps. Other times, when the puffer fish are really hitting hard, and it's just throwing a gulp out and having them destroyed, I'll use a fish bite. And other times, when I'm using hard body lures, whew, man, it smells. Or whatever, I put that on there, as you see, it's not running off. It's not like a spray. You spray it on, a couple of casts off. That stuff sticks, and it does stink. I will use the Procure, and I can use this on just about anything, which is, if I had to pick which one of the three I like best, I really have to pick with the Procure, just because I can use it on just about any lure in any situation. You know, the gulps, like I say, if you're targeting redfish, there's really nothing better than a gulp. And fish bites, when the puffer fish are really hammering me, fish bites work great. I carry all three. There's no reason why not to. So you want to catch more fish? Remember, you want something with sight, you want a lure that has some sound, and you want a lure with a scent trail. Okay? Do you need all three to catch fish? No, but when you put all three together, you're definitely increasing your chances to catch a nice fish. So hopefully you find this video interesting. Please subscribe to my channel right here. Click right down there on that. Subscribe to my channel. I have more tips. I have more stories on kayak spots, saltwater and freshwater. I know I've been messing out on the saltwater here lately, but I'm getting ready to get back on there. Till next time, this is Pete Hink. Thanks for watching.